So I'm Pierre Paslier, co-founder of Gravity Sketch, and today I'm going to talk to you about what we do at Gravity Sketch, but also give you some insights on how we came up with this, some of the creation process. So I'm a designer. I pay a lot of attention to all the objects that surround us all the time, and when we started this project, we realized that actually 99% of all objects that surround us have been made with very complex software. It's used by engineers, designers, but the reality is most of us are completely unable to create anything. And we thought that it was a pity that people were missing out on this ability to create. So Gravity Sketch, we tried to revolutionize this by making a 3D design platform that is made for everyone, that is really easy to use, and is going to give like all of us the ability to materialize our ideas, our imagination. And we really focus on the creation experience because we think that that's going to enable people to take part of this. So I'm going to show you, have a video just to give you an idea of how it works. Everything is based on sketching, and that's something that we feel all very familiar with. And it's trying to use this easy input, but take advantage of the digital possibilities. There's no complex menu. It's really trying to make it as intuitive as possible. So we also try to take advantage of all the new technologies. We think that tablets are great because they are like mobile. You can take them around, and you can really take advantage of this ability to see through digital 3D. We also have an augmented reality version. It's a prototype for now because there's no available glasses yet on the market, but we really try to think how these technologies are going to change the way we can create. And as you can see, everything starts from a sketch, from a 2D input, and then you create something in 3D. And VR is coming next year, so we're getting ready for this as well. One thing that's also very interesting for us is the ability to co-create. That's something that's not possible very easily today, but we see the parallel with gaming, where networking is a very important part of it. And we think that there's going to be more and more possibilities for this, and that's something that we create in the tool directly so that people can actually co-create. You could be in the same room, or you could be on the other side of the planet, but taking part in this experience. So this is the team. We all met in a course called Innovation Design Engineering at the Royal College of Art and Imperial College. Our background is engineers, designers, manufacturing. So we all have this knowledge about the existing tools. And just to touch on some of the opportunities that we see, we've heard a lot about 3D printing. And I think thing that's really interesting is that 3D printing, if it's just getting the same object as going to the shop, it's a shopping experience that you have at your house. But to really take advantage of this technology, if you can create your own content, that's just unleashing the power of 3D printing. And so we think that there is this 3D literacy barrier that exists today where people are not able to create their own stuff, and software is one of these barriers, and that's what we're trying to take down. These two objects, they've been created with Gravity Sketch by kids. We ran a workshop in the Tate Modern a few months ago. And one thing that's really interesting, I mean, it looks like a regular toy, but one thing that's interesting is that it's a hand-drawn 3D object. It's got the hand signature style of that kid who thought of a plane, and he just like put it in the digital world and became a 3D object. So the styling is very important for us. We think that most of 3D printing stuff, they look like they come from software. This looks like it comes from people. And something a bit less consumer-facing is construction, engineering projects where you start from like a physical thing that you have to build. You create a 2D solution with drawings, and then you have to take this 2D into 3D again, and there's just lots of miscommunication. Things take time. People don't understand each other. So giving the ability to annotate in 3D is actually making these miscommunication happen less, and we think that there is a lot of opportunity in staying all the time in 3D. But that's, yeah, just giving you an idea of what we do. But now I'm going to talk a bit about how we came up with this and some of the insights that helped us to design this experience. So as I mentioned, we were all designers, engineers, used to use this software, and they're really frustrating. I mean, sometimes you think of the thing that you want, the software doesn't work the same way your brain does. And we didn't really know why, so we did a bit of research. And one thing that struck that was really interesting is this guy, Gardner, he came up with the theory of multiple intelligences. And basically what he states is that we all have different ways to think in our brain. There's linguistic, logic, mathematical, there's musical, there's kinesthetic, like there's 9 of them. But what's interesting for us is that there is the spatial intelligence, is the mind's eye, is the ability to think of something, you can see it in your head, you can turn it around, you can slice it, you can look it from different perspectives. And that's an intelligence that creative people have predominantly. But when they use the tools available, they rely heavily on linguistic and logic, because they've been created by software developers and they're working with computers. So it's all text-based, menus, functions. It's step A to B to C to get something. So that gave us this insight that the tool is forcing you to translate from your spatial intelligence to something that is not familiar with what you do. And creative people have a really hard time for that. So from there, we went on a series of experiments, because we really like to make some small rigs and try to understand what's happening. And the first set of experiments was around physicality. When you create with a mouse and a keyboard, the movements that you do are completely disconnected from the actual shape that you're creating. And we were interested to think that maybe if your input is looking like the real thing that you're making, your brain is understanding better the shape that you're creating. So this kind of rig was trying to input a rotation, and you would just create a revolution. And there was a good feedback on this. Another thing that was interesting was looking at Minecraft, Legos, all these tools, or like all these games that have a simple set of rules. You create only with blocks, or you have to stack things on top of each other. And at first, it sounds like a constraint, but when you think about it, it's enabling you to very easily access this tool and start engage with it. And when you see what people create with Minecraft, it's not a constraint. I mean, people create crazy stuff with Minecraft. So we wanted to have this simple set of rules in our tool. And the last one was kind of a light bulb moment. So it's a very simple thing. It's just like these little squares of transparent plastic, and we asked people to draw sections on them and stack them on top of each other, so that you can actually think of something, you draw on 10 of these like small squares, and you can see it from all different angles. And it had this immediacy, like you think of something, you put it on this very low-tech object, and you can see it. And we wanted to have this like in our tool. So from there, we decided that sketching was going to be our physical interaction, that your hand was going to draw the real thing that appears in the digital environment. And it was giving us also this very familiar input that we all are like able to engage with. And also, it was giving us our simple set of rules. It means that everything you create is going to start from a 2D sketch. So it looks like a constraint, but actually when you start to use it, you see that it's just so easy that you start, you try, and very quickly you create something in 3D. And the other thing was the immediacy. Drawing something once directly in 3D and being able to look at it from all different sides, that's something that is so powerful. I mean, if you sketch one view, at the end of that view, you have to like think of how you're going to sketch the top view or whatever it is, and chances are your sketching skills are a bit limiting you to like draw the exact same thing. But when you sketch in 3D, things are already in 3D. You don't have to master perspective or any of this. It's just directly, immediately available in the 3 dimensions. So this is some of the insights of how we create this user experience in Gravity Sketch. And we actually have a beta version available on iPad. So if you're interested, you can go on gravitysketch.com to sign up. And I'm happy to answer some of your questions. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Pierre.